quick supply for Doxun. Honestly, that's probably my favorite as well. I've liked it for a long time. I pretty much always liked it. I have had a phase where I like the 300 supply ones more, but now with the unlock change, I think quick supply is my favorite.
Wow, okay. And here I thought that we gelled so well because you understood Elite like I did, but...
I'm sorry.
Like,
Elite's my second favorite. Okay, forgive me. All right, the game's starting. Let's forget this.
Yeah, that one cut it, buddy. You're out of the club.
I'm sorry, guys. All right, best of 3 starting up between Doxun and Laomam.
Marksman specialist here for Doxun. Has a very long range pack. Some Stormcallers, some Fangs, exactly what you'd want. Laomam has a pretty good matchup as well, though. Sledgehammers can be ideal into Stormcallers with levels. They can sometimes be a little bit too tricky to kill, so can go either way here in the early game.
Yeah, I might give it to Doxun round 1. Like, normally I say that Sledges beat Storms, but when you put these, really late Fangs, I feel they're not that good. Although the Crawlers come out, we'll have to see what Doxun goes for Chaff Clear. I imagine he buys, Arc Lights or... No, he's just going to go for the Chaff and Chill line. Interesting.
Wow, okay. And kind of building, it was Scion that was doing this a lot, right? Like building this kind of staircase towards the back middle.
Yeah, especially on defense, I want to say, but I think even in standard he does it, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice way to try and deal with any type of flanks, which can happen in standard too.
For sure.
Well, I think with this setup though, Doxun probably doesn't win round 1.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Crawlers plus the Sledge combo is just going to be basically what does it here. I mean, the Fangs are all right as well, especially if we can distract the Storms later on in the battle, but it's all about the Sledge and the Crawlers.
Yeah, first salvos from the Storms will miss. They'll now start locking onto the Sledgehammers though. Left side is actually a really good salvo, taking down half of the pack.
That was pretty sweet. Second salvo, okay, not bad. There's one Sledge remaining. Right side, though, getting completely crushed. I mean, winning one side is nice, I guess, but definitely going to be going to Laomam here, I think. Or maybe not.
Pushing into Stormcallers can be very tricky. Although if they've got aim like that...
Yeah, it's close, though. Either one could win, but it looks like it will be Laomam winning by just, 3 Fangs.
Massive win.
Down comes the Marksman. We skipped everything.
Wow.
I did not see what they were. I'm sorry,
me
guys.
neither. Guys, please. Why are you making our analyst jobs so hard?
I know. We literally need to, have in the rule book, at least wait 2 seconds.
Or maybe they're making the job really easy, you know?
No analysis needed. They chose the right thing.
Yeah, exactly. They're just clicking buttons.
Well, Doxun may be learning from his previous standard game and going for more than 2 Storms here. Going up to number 3 for now, picking up one more Marksman, and I imagine just a Chaff here. This means that he does not have true Chaff Clear yet.
He doesn't, but you can often get away with it if you have 3 Stormcallers like he does in the early game, because often the Crawlers will kind of clash with the enemy Crawlers, and that can allow your Storms to hit the static units.
You know what this probably is? Is this probably him? Oh, he unlocks Arclight. I was just gonna say that maybe he's trying to go for Vulcan, and that's why he's really staying away from the Chaff Clear.
That might be a thing. Vulcan does pair very well with Stormcaller and Marksman, so
for sure. I mean, why else would you not get Arclight?
It's always a little bit of an awkward one, right? Yeah, that's true. That's true. Maybe he's waiting for a unit drop.
Yeah, exactly. Because this Marksman's not that good. I mean, sure, we're shooting Sledges. That's not the worst, but I feel like an Arclight here to chew up those Fangs on the left, for example, would be a little bit better.
It's always so awkward when you play standard and you're like, I want to buy a Vulcan, so I don't want Arclights, but at the same time I need to get to round 4 or something before I can finally buy one. How am I going to bridge that gap?
Yeah, exactly. I think I saw one of your videos on the official Mechabellum where you talked about Vulcan Marksman. You were like, get arc lights to help you get through the mid game, then get your Vulcan. I was like, yeah, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, you always have to you have to have something. That's why Sledgehammer I think is so good too, because Sledgehammer can get you through the early game in terms of chaff
Yeah,
clear before you get like into Vulcan without having to invest into arc lights too much.
for sure, for sure. Well, we don't get chaff clear from our round 3 unit drops. We do have some spicy stuff though. Both players going for air. Laomam going for what I would consider to be the better long-term thing with the Phoenix, whereas Doxun, I mean, what do you make of this Phantom Ray? Because I'm not really liking it that much.
It might be a sell.
Yeah, could be.
Didn't see if it was the most valuable, but
Mm-hmm.
it's either like a cheese attempt into a sell.
Dude, he's not buying chaff clear. This is crazy.
Yeah, I think you're correct that he's just setting up for Vulcan. I think I would have preferred him seeing buy one this turn though. Like
Same.
take for the resources, and you definitely would have been able to get one out.
Yeah, interesting though. Is he going to float the 200 here? I mean, you could take an enhancement, of course. You could even level the storm.
Oh, and the Phantoms are not going to have a good time. They just so happen to fly right into those Phoenixes that were picked up for Laomam.
Oh no, that's so bad. Like, kind of losing a coin flip here. I mean, you can probably guess that there's going to be the Phoenix. It's just such a solid pickup.
Yeah, like this is the gamble that you take, right? If it's on the left side, it'll definitely create trouble for one
Yep.
round. But now that this happens, you just wish that you sold it and got a Vulcan.
Yeah, 100% agree. I mean, you're definitely selling it next turn, right? There's no world that you
Yeah,
keep
for
it.
sure.
Yeah. Well, let's see if the Storms can get it done once again. They were really, really powerful last time. I mean, there's not much chaff left, so like I guess you actually don't need the chaff clear somehow. There's just fangs trickling in. It's going to be pretty tedious to clean them up, though. But I mean, we have a lot of fangs of our own here for Doxun, so we'll see.
Yeah, it's just kind of going to come down to whose Stormcallers can hit best. And Doxun does have one more Stormcaller, so looks like he's favored. The level 3 marksman will have plenty of damage to take down the Phoenixes, although will
Oh,
fall. And can this marksman dodge enough bullets to stay alive on the left? I don't think it can.
I suppose not. Yeah. So that's going to be a Phoenix win with potentially like one Stormcaller remaining. So small win there, and I think the game's going to start heating up here as Doxon's going to finally choose his chaff clear. And you have to imagine after waiting this long, it's got to be Vulcans, right?
Yep. Now, Laomam is kind of known to play a lot of sandworms in standard.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of wonder what Doxon's game plan is going to be, expecting that.
Yeah, that's true. He doesn't have the answer so far. I mean, sure, his marksman picked up a level. He's got a level 4, but that's not enough, and it's certainly only on one side of the board. So I don't know. We could get into like melters, but I feel like there's no reason to go melters until you see the worm. So for now, I think he's just going to take it one turn at a time, and I mean, he should be scaling pretty nice. Oh, we saw the sandworm unlocked. He is a giant specialist.
Yeah, so this is probably going to come down next turn.
Why didn't he make a
I
Vulcan there? Is he going to range the Vulcan or scorch it? Oil. Huh.
maybe on the left side to stall, and the next turn set it on fire.
Yeah. Good shout. It's just so interesting to me because I would have just bought the second Vulcan there, but he valued getting out some more marksmans and doing the oil. Pretty interesting.
Right, I'm going to be like very nitpicky, but do you think that Laomam should have like unlocked another giant that could potentially counter the worm instead of unlocking the worm? Because next turn there could be like a level 2 melter drop.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, certainly you have a lot of options when you're giant specialists, so I would like to have unlocked Melter for that reason. Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Of course, it might not happen again. It's a 1 in 3, and then you still have or need the melter to actually show up.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely pretty unlikely, but always good to cover your bases here. Vulcan's doing pretty well. There's just a few fangs in front of it, so the Phoenix will be locking on any moment, but one did fall, and down goes the other, so Now it's just the blue Stormcaller gonna kill the Vulcan now. Oil slowing everything down on the left, but it looks like the tower eventually is gonna fall down. And the question is, does Doxun have enough to clean things up? I don't think so. It's just storms now.
Only a few crawlers left, but man, are they being annoying for these storm callers.
Yeah, one left. That's an automatic loss there. And yeah, another small win here. Pretty slow pace game so far.
Kind of what you'd expect, I guess, from this type of long range game, where it's a pretty symmetrical board state.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, barrier picked up for Doxun for his second Vulcan. The worms do in fact come out, and an amplifying core picked up for them as well. I imagine that will be going on the worm, but certainly the Phoenix not out of the question.
And have a look at these sandworm techs. Laomam not running armor, actually running burrow maintenance.
That I've literally never seen that. Like armor to me feels like such a staple.
It's not like that. Like the more and more I've thought about it though, or seen it, it hasn't felt that impactful. Because I feel like worm is like too annoying to kill most of the time, and typical responses will include things like a melter, and then you just want to click replicate first.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah,
EMP
I
is
feel
not
you.
uncommon either. So like I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, nothing will compare to the days when it was 200 cost. That was just ridiculous. Used to be so busted back then.
Yeah, now it's sitting at 250.
Yeah, definitely a needed nerf.
Oh,
The
nice
missile.
missile.
Oh, hits the arc light though. I think he wanted the storms. Pretty good oil. Storms go down.
Well, yeah, this worm is really like the problem Laomam has is this is a level 4 marksman,
Yep.
and these worms are only level 1, so they're not performing as well. As I say that, the Phoenix has somehow managed to find the marksman who was standing in the open.
Yeah, and the debuff timing was like so close to being ridiculously good for Doxun, but instead it's kind of whatever, but still enough to clutch the round.
Dude, this sandworm. It's
I
still
know.
alive.
It's still alive. It's gonna
It's
kill like
actually
a
really
few
bad.
more.
It might be able to level just from this. Oh, it
Oh,
is.
no way.
That's
Oh my
such
god.
an insane like round actually for Laomam, because that's the difference between having a 50% leveled level 1 worm and getting a level 2 worm.
Dude, yeah. He just has the privilege to pay 200 to make like a ridiculous amount of HP now.
It's the one with the amp core too.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what makes it so broken. I think it was broken no matter what, but like with the amp core, I feel like that was actually a really, really big deal.
All right, well, Doxun wins the round, but there is potentially some minor setbacks or problems in the future with that level 2 worm for Laomam. But here are
Dude.
unit reinforcements. Melting Point and Saber here could both be a consideration.
I think Melter is so good for both players here. Like, it's good against the Vulcans, it's good against the Worms, and I mean, Melter's good against Melter, so. Wait, did we
Wow, this
sell
looks
it? Bro. Bro, what?
double shot marksman. That's confident.
I can't believe that. Like it might be okay in the short term, but he's gonna be so sad when he sees the melt. Like, okay, let's remember also, guys, Laomam is a giant specialist. Like having a melter against a giant specialist like feels amazing. But in any case, maybe the marksman can get it done. Double shot is a really efficient tech for DPS, so let's see.
Also, this game looks very similar to the game we had, I think it was last week, between Conclusion and Scion.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like, Scion also had worms and then into a melter, tried to predict a factory, I think.
Yep. This crawler is really good, by the way, that Doxun put in front of the melter. Gonna be feeling happy about that one. Although this flank as well from Xiaolao, pretty cool there. The laser sight Vulcan, though, so long range. Will kill it somewhat timely.
Oh, the melt. How is it locked onto the marksman?
Dude, that was like actually the best thing you could have targeted, probably. Low key.
How does that happen?
Bro. Okay, let's
The
see the
level
double shot marquees.
4 or 5 marksman just gets like insta locked. That's insane.
I know. So unlucky. Now the worms are just going to pounce on through. The Melter's going to be representing some significant player damage. The Phoenix as well may live. And that's got to be a big win here for
A
Laomam.
replicate was clicked as well, so there's a bunch of larves in the way.
Yep.
So much player damage coming through now.
Yeah, finally we're starting to heat up this game here. Doxun's scaling well himself. I'm just worried that Laomam, if he gets just a few more levels and picks up like a defensive equipment, like a portable shield, for example, that he's going to be kicking himself for not having the melter. Now, he can always buy it back. It is unlocked because he did get it from the unit reinforcement, but you would have liked to have gotten it on the board and picking up levels.
Would it have like done much though here for Doxun? The melter, I wonder, because like replicate was clicked, which is usually a big problem for melters. And then like I
Mhm.
think his decision is like somewhat sound
I think
because
so too,
marksmen
but
are good into the melter. And with levels, they can get rid of the worm, although suddenly we have a blender now in the top right, so things are looking a bit worse for wear.
yeah, I'm like torn. Like I do agree with you, and I don't think his play is like nonsense or anything like that. It's just like you're against a giant spec. You saw the worm had a level with an amp core. You know that's 16 or 160k or whatever the heck that is. And it's like, yeah, Melter sounds pretty good against that, no? I know Replicate's there, so it does throw a wrench, but still.
Yeah. Yeah, I was in a tough spot. Like that round was just like so unlucky before. Like
I
if this worm
know.
doesn't insta level, it's a completely different story.
No doubt. We got loans for both sides. Temp range, it's round 7. Doxon's at 2k here. I mean, honestly, he can get one tap, so I'm sure he's quite interested in tempo here. Not many bubbles, like just the barrier that the Vulcan's holding and the shield airdrop. That's going to parry a decent amount of the, what's that spell called? The Ion Beam here. We're locking onto the Melter. It's like way too far forward, so that's nice for Doxon here. There's also a Wasp, so that's going to be kind of problematic for the Marksman.
Well, the melter's gone down, but man, this ion blast is not great for Doxon again. His high level
Yep.
marksman once more has to bite the dust, sit out until next round.
Yeah, can these worms just chew through everything and maybe even get tower? Look how many larvae there is. Down goes the tower. And like his left side is his weak side, right? Like all his precious marksmen are on the right, so he really wants to be winning that right side, but that's where the worms are.
I mean, there's probably going to be a debuff here, but we need those worms to be out of the ground when that happens, which some of them will be.
Yeah, yeah.
Double shot marksman, you're doing a decent job, at least getting rid of the level 1 worms from the looks of it, but that level 2 is still alive, and with a bunch of larvs in front, does look like Laomam will be picking up the round again, but it's not as bad as it was before, and keep in mind there was an Ion Blast in play.
That's right, yeah. Shield airdrop will be gone as well, but you know, if you keep picking up these marksman levels, and he does have elite marksman, so maybe he's in a good spot here. What do you think about these cards?
Oh, enhancement module though. The Melter has a level, and one of the worms picked up a level.
Yeah, yeah. So
There's also
enhancement module.
sledgehammers to sell, or like
Mhm.
Laomam here is I would just pick the enhancement.
Yeah, I agree. And then I think for Doxon, he would never take extended range Falcon because like it's a worms coming into your face, so you basically will just never care about the range. So he's looking for, I don't know, like even smoke's not that good for him. So I do like his intensive pickup. And Lao Mam's still thinking about it.
Surprised he's thinking this long because he wants to get rid of that Melter. It got insta locked. It did what it was supposed to do. It's a bit of a sad like realization that you clicked range on it, but I don't think you can salvage this. So you can just
Yep.
pick enhancement, immediately make back the money and a little bit more. And yeah, there we
I love
go.
that play. Yeah. Yeah, really good shout there. Makes a ton of sense.
I mean, you just made 100
Yeah,
on this
yeah.
round,
It's
and you're giving
fantastic.
that worm 20% attack and defense.
Also a great point. Okay, Lao Mam going for the okay, so the shielded
Oh,
aspect of the wasp, does that even make sense against the double shot
not
marks?
really,
Yeah.
not really.
But I mean, whatever. It's still the idea of going wasp here is certainly great. And you know, it's a little bit of extra tankability against things like fangs, so you know, maybe it's fine.
Yeah,
It
against the
looks
fangs, it does
good.
make some difference.
I mean,
Oh,
that
we have
is a
one steel ball pack in the
scary.
back.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. I'm not sure if that'll do much. And the
Feels a
tower
little
isn't
desperate.
fortified. Dude, the tower's not even fortified. Yeah, so scary.
And Strike hasn't even come out yet, but I feel like Strike would be a pretty big power spike for Laomam as well.
I agree. The
Oh, the
ball is
ball
actually
is
locked
locked
on,
on.
but down it
Wow,
goes. Oh,
okay.
wait. Okay.
Well, it did its best, but level 3 Sandworm, a little bit scary.
Yeah, it was honestly a good move. And we have balls on the left as well. Gonna get the tower here. But Doxun didn't level his tower, so it's just gonna fall here. And is there
And
enough
I mean, it's not
DPS?
looking too bad, but there's a few too many worms left, and the Wasps are throwing a spanner in the works too.
Yeah.
That will be
And
enough
that
to
is
seal the deal.
game. Game 1 going to Laomam to start off this best of 3.
Yep, quite a good showcase here from Laomam as to one of the pretty normal flowcharts, I would say, in standard.
Yeah, I have to agree. It was
Opponent
really good
plays,
use of giant
yeah, it's
spec.
like opponent plays Marksman and Vulcan plus Storm. You go into Arclight Worm.
Yeah. There was some weird things though that game for sure, like the Phantom Ray, like I don't know, man. I guess he just didn't want the bird because he's like he knows he's going into marksman, right?
Yeah, I just think it was one of those things where you want to get a 1 round win. If you manage to dodge the Phoenix, it would pay off and you would gain some tempo. But because he guessed wrong, it came back to bite him and you would have rather sold it immediately.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, I
Like
like the way
it's one of
Doxon
those
played
like
it.
coin flips. Yeah. I think the point of the Phantom, like he definitely should have sold it. At the same time, there was some other stuff happening as well that you can't like account for. Like the worm
Yep.
living on 1 hit point
Oh
and
my
then
god.
like
Yeah.
taking 50% extra experience at the end of the round.
That was so sad. That
Like
like oh
that's one of those things where like no matter how good you are, you can't expect that to happen. Like not for Laomam or for Doxun.
I really felt that was like a really pivotal moment of the game. Just having that experience tempo to level up immediately with the amp core. Like, man, paying 200 supplies to get 80k HP and obviously like more damage as well is just such a crazy good deal.
Yep. Yeah, it put Laomam like right back into the driver's seat. So that seems like it was the pivotal round. Maybe there was a factory play in there somewhere, which is something that we have seen being played. I mentioned the conclusion versus Scion game, which is what conclusion did, ended up going for
Yeah.
factories. And that did
Yeah.
work out.
Yeah, for sure. It's interesting how some players use it for not gut shots on the line, right? They're just like comfortable either amassing them and spawning stuff or just like doing a blue one with range just and maybe launcher just to have DPS.
Yeah, it's a weird one. Like you would expect Melter to counter it, which it does if it locks on. But at the same
Hmm.
time, if the factory ever like gets a hold of a Melter, it'll DPS it down very quickly.
Yeah, for sure. It's like the classic like both units counter each other type matchup, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's like Overlord and Melter. Like
Yep.
both of those also like can kill each other. It's just that like who gets to lock on first.
Yep. All about the chaff war, man. That's Mechabellum in a nutshell for the most part. I mean, once in a while you have games where it doesn't really matter, but most of the time, like, you know, if you get something really, really big, then maybe chaff clear doesn't matter, but then they get the melter and then you're back to square one. So
And that's what keeps us coming back.
indeed. And that's why fire has to exist, right?
Well, I mean, Chaff is OP.
Chaff is OP, I
Chaff
suppose.
wins games.
Yes, so we just need a
Therefore, it's
button
OP.
to delete it.
Yes.
But it's okay because fire extinguisher is here.
True. We have seen it click today.
I mean, low key though, I think that was a nice addition to the game.
It's a really cool effect. Someone asked me today, what's my favorite effect in the game? And actually, now that I think about it, seeing sprinklers go off and clean stuff up is like really satisfying to me.
It's very cool. I mean, I love the art design of the game, right? Like Abyss looks sweet.
Like seeing that kind of makes me want to pick up Power Wash Simulator. Like maybe I'll enjoy that too, you know?
True. All right, let's go into game 2 of our best of 3 between Doxun and Laomam in the learners bracket.
Oh, there's an elite. No, he didn't pick it.
Oh,
I had so
unfortunate.
much hope. Well, I mean, he did pick the pack with his favorite units, the Hound, so
Yeah, that's
can't
pretty
be too mad.
respectable. Yeah, it's going to be another slow-paced game. It looks like we have a decent health pool as well.
Very similar setup here once again. Although this time around, Doxun will have Chaff Clear, whether he likes it or not from the start.
Yeah, true. He can't
And
be tricked into not getting it.
yeah, exactly. We'll just add the double marksman. This
Yep.
is likely
Let's.
going to shape up to be a very similar game.
Yeah, it definitely could be. He's actually looking at recommended formations right now. What are your thoughts about hounds and standard? Like, do you think they're good? Do you think they're like similar to arc lights in efficacy?
Um, I think that they can work. I have seen some people pull it off, although it often like ends up being some type of like weird standard board where you are pushing in a way because of like how fast hounds are. So
Mm.
the best boards to me have been Hound plus Phoenix, and you kind of pressure the opponent even though you're starting like around your towers.
Oh, that's interesting. It's kind of like a mid range, but you're just, playing a little bit far back.
Yeah. Because the hounds are faster than arc lights, so you are inevitably going to be walking in.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, their chaff clearing ability is quite good. They just need like that golden level, right? Like getting level 2, just one-shotting the crawlers is so big.
Yeah, it's crucial. Once you get there, they kind of outperform. Well, they just do outperform arc lights in terms of chaff their ability, just
Yes.
speed. But
Yeah.
obviously, they do get outranged.
Yeah. Yeah, it is tough to level them though. I mean, I'm not sure if he really picked up too much experience there. I do think he should lean into them. Like, I don't think you all of a sudden say, I'm going arc lights here. I could see the line Rego Vulcan, but certainly not arc lights, I think.
No, arc lights is a bit too far gone. I would agree. Laomam also in
Yeah.
a really good spot here. Like hounds are lined up with the arc lights, which doesn't feel good. So there are already going to be some problems here that need fixing for Doxun. Laomam immediately trying to make use of the tempo, goes for that Rhino Assault on the back right.
Yeah, it's a nice move there. I think it's got a pretty good chance to get the tower. And we can see Doxon's crawler has like kind of like a left offset relative to the tower. Oh, actually, okay, that should cover it nicely.
Does it kill it though?
Not without help, obviously. I'm not sure what will turn. I think there's a chance something will turn.
Stormcallers, maybe, but
Yeah.
you would imagine Laomam picks up the round. He also is a marksman specialist, so the orange man has appeared on the left side of the board.
Yeah, true. We're waiting for the Farseer for Doxon, so definitely him on the back foot for the next 2 rounds, and he's already lower in health totals, so we'll see if this tempo in the early game here is meaningful as the game progresses. Oh,
Yeah,
one
it's a bit of a
storm.
scary situation. Oh, Storm does turn.
One of the other storms actually was thinking about it. He was like turning and then changed his mind.
Yeah, he's trusting his buddy to do the job,
Yeah,
which is
you got
probably
it right.
misplaced trust.
Yeah, proceeds to miss like 3 out of the 4
Properly
rockets.
misplaced, yep. Not that it
Yeah,
would have mattered, I
that's
think. Like, the
nah.
front was getting in quite easily from the looks of things.
Yeah, for sure. Kind of a big round there. I mean, we mentioned, right? Like, this is just going to be Tempo City for, I think, one more round. And then, the Farseer tends to stabilize. So we'll see.
Ooh, okay. Orbital bombardment here, picked up for both players. Yeah, and really, you talk about the tempo. I mean, Doxon has to respect this, but he's got some issues. Wow, range on the hounds is what we're going for. I was not expecting that.
Yeah, I think I agree. I don't hate it. I'm curious if there was like better alternatives. I range on the Arclights as well. So at least, we're sort of maintaining that range difference, I suppose.
I really thought he would go for the Vulcans again.
Yeah. I don't like this how do I call it? This like curvature that Doxon is going for with his hounds. Like
Hmm?
I think in standard you want your edge chaff clear to be quite far down. Like the whole point of standard is like you want the crawlers to come to you and you stay far back. That way that the sniper units don't take care of your chaff clear. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, so you basically want to have a reverse curve.
Yeah, exactly. Like convex, I suppose, instead of concave. Okay, orbitals.
Now we're getting into the thick of it.
Yeah, sorry. Nurge. Okay, the bubble's gonna maybe fall. That's a big deal. If it lives, though, man, that is a sweet bubble. But usually storms get the job done. The marksman's gonna walk out, but there, down it goes.
Oh, the bubble. Not quite there for Doxun, but I think he'll be happy not to lose more hit points.
Yeah, for sure. Winning round 3 when you're Farser spec, like, man, nothing feels better. Down it comes. Very, very strong unit. Even round 4, it's still quite strong. And in standard, I think it's good in standard as well. At least for, like, the short term.
Have a look at these unit packs. Triple Mustang offered, immediately picked up for Doxun.
Yeah, I think everything but the Saber is playable here. Like, okay, the Rhino, maybe not, but, like, I just want to mention that Arbiter has been trying to make Rhino plus Hound work in standard. You mentioned this early on, but it's sort of like a mid-range board, right? So like it does somewhat fit, but I really don't think Doxun would go for it. And he does go for the Mustangs, of course.
Yeah, it's just like that little bit safer. And running in with white rhinos into a potentially level 3 marksman. I mean, you could, I guess, stack them on the right side, but
Yeah.
I feel like you have to be very comfortable about how that matchup turns out.
Yeah, definitely. Like maybe you need the Rhinos blue. Like I'm not sure. I haven't spectated very much of it nor tried it myself. So just wanted to throw that out there.
I mean, it's a cool like thing for sure. I've seen the pictures too.
Yeah, yeah. But Mustangs make sense, right? I mean, it's a nice diversification. It's more chaff in a standard game. Like it can't be bad.
Wow, look at that turn from Laomam too. Picks up the Mustangs as well. Both of them will range, but Laomam picks up a 4th Stang. And suddenly we're looking at a lot of deployments here. 5 coming down for both players.
Yeah, true. We have a right side, like the right side is weaker here for Laomam. So I do wonder if the Farseer has decent potential to get the tower.
I mean, it's a strong unit, even on round 4.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's looking safe. I mean, I say that it just took half its HP. I'm not sure if it's locked on or not.
It is getting locked. No, I think
oh,
it
is
is.
it? Oh, no.
Ooh,
That's
go
really
down.
not ideal. Yeah, it's looking...
It looks like, yeah, the additional Mustang making a difference on the left for Laomam.
I think so, yeah. It's looking good. And honestly, there's like sort of a war happening right now. Like, whoever can get more Mustang levels, it's a really big deal. And honestly, like, I would chalk up the current situation of the game. It's just like, who has the better levels on their chaff clear? Because basically, like, blue arc lights can bully white hounds and sort of vice versa. So it's definitely something to look out for. And I think Doxun's been struggling to get those hound levels.
Yeah, that's why I was a bit surprised about the Hound range in the first place. Because I think playing Hound into arc lights that are clearly ahead is really tough. Like, even if you give them text, like, it's not easy in a long range fight like this one. So that's why I was expecting him to go Vulcan, but he seems to trust the Hounds to do their thing. Another Mustang picked up. We do get a barrier here for Laomam, so a giant is on the way.
Indeed. A lot of stuff happening here. Like, we're redeploying a crawler, oil on the right. I think something really important is, like, I mean, I just mentioned this, but those 2 Mustangs leveled. Like, dang, he immediately levels 2 Mustangs? That's kind of unexpected. They must have gotten the kills on the marksmans.
Yeah, the marksman. There's a blue hound on that side. Maybe the tower experience.
Yeah, that's huge, though.
Yeah, that
so
does
is
make
that
a
a
big
Vulcan
difference.
setup, do you think? Like, oil to set up for Vulcaning on the next round with the barrier?
It very well could be. There's like a gap between the arc light in front of the tower and the sledgehammers that seems to be the size of a giant.
True. Yeah, I see that. It's got a nice little pocket
Could just be
there.
a melter too. It might just be a melter as well.
And there's no reason to go for one, but I suppose it's, proactive in case Doxun does go for a big unit.
Yeah. I mean, like, I agree, like, there's no reason to go for melter, but I've seen people build melter in these situations.
I know. Absolutely. So we have actually, I'm trying to count. How many Mustangs is that for Doxun? Is that 6?
6, yeah.
That is wild, man. What do you make of that?
I don't hate it. It's a good setup. Because we're going to get unit drops either next turn or the turn after. And Mustangs are typically just a good support unit for most of the Giants.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So you see it as like almost like a stall turn?
Yeah. I think they're just waiting for the unit drop to give them direction, and then whatever Giant shows up is what Doxun will put in front of the Mustangs.
Yeah, that makes sense. It feels like a little bit bad to me that they're level 1, but maybe it's fine. I mean, it looks like the game state's pretty even, actually.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Laomam will
gets the
win,
arc.
but only by 1 Stormcaller.
Yeah, really close affairs here. Will we get the unit drop? No.
Enhancement module.
Yeah, Enhance is interesting. Fortified Arclight, perhaps worthy of mention. Extended Range Vulcan, perhaps as well.
Vulcan's Descent available too. There's going to be the Vulcans there in those gaps for Laomam. Do you ever go for factory here if you're Doxun? Honestly, like
Ooh.
production factory, if he runs it, doesn't seem that bad.
Yeah, that's interesting. What do you want to spit out? Like balls or sledges, phoenixes, all of them?
Yeah, I feel like eventually you kind of want all of them, but
Yeah.
I'm not too familiar anymore, like which one you pick first, but maybe it's just like a
Yeah.
range factory. Could play Melters too if he expects this to be Vulcan.
Do you think that Doxson can get away with marksman double shot once again, or does he look at these Vulcans? Oh, okay, forget it. Let's check the text. He's got only balls as his summoning tech, and he's got the ranged launcher, of course, missile interception, and then he's got the like defensive photon plus armor setup.
The one thing is, he did pick up the enhancement module, and he's gonna eventually run out of stuff to bounce around.
Dude, yeah, like the Farseer doesn't even have half a level, which would be the most precious level up, and of course, War Factory cannot equip items.
And
So
also, Stormcaller has been doing quite a lot.
I guess he could keep it on the Stormcaller forever, but like I feel like it's just
Yeah, but
not
that doesn't
efficient.
feel right.
Yeah. Weird. And there's actually an AMD, an anti-missile device here for Laomam. That's gonna intercept some of that blue storm.
Well, the factory will actually lock that Vulcan pretty efficiently. There are
Yeah.
Stormcallers shooting at it as well, though, so it is taking significant amounts of damage. Past half the hit points, I think, approaching a third, maybe a quarter. Looks like it actually will go down.
Yeah, wow. That's not really what you want to see here is Doxson. Can he get the anti-missile device? Yes. Okay. Economic victory there, but looks like he is not even close to winning the round.
Yeah, that's not what you want to see if you're a War Factory player.
Definitely not. It probably didn't
Ideally, you
level
win the
either.
round.
Nope.
Yeah, ideally you win the round and then get a level.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
Okay,
well,
now
no
we get
melters
units.
shown.
No melters. Is
It's
that
like
a
a fortress into
cell?
cell. Yeah, I heard the
Yeah.
sell button. I feel like that was the fortress. Yeah, it is
Indeed
gone.
it is. Both players doing it, so they got a lump sum of cash here. Laomam going to use it for melters in range. That's kind of a classic, like with Vulcans in general, but also against War Factory. Meanwhile, Doxon's going to range his War Factory, and it's now sitting at 1,100 money.
All right. Well, another factory. This is gonna start to get expensive for Doxun. Like Laomam is sitting at
Yeah,
4,100 hit points. He's
no
gonna need to
doubt.
win a lot of rounds, and there's no efficient maintenance on this tech bar.
100% agree. They're really far forward as well. I mean, I don't think it's wrong. I think it's a fine position, but it does make me nervous. Now, the melters were positioned relatively far back, so I think everything will be fine. And the Giants have not picked up levels yet, which means the DPS of the factory should be sufficient to kill them. So we'll see how this shakes out.
Yeah, there are like some positives here for Doxun. That redeployment is really nice. Allows him to kind of stack up on the right side this turn. Probably will be able to get in, but the resource situation is scaring me a little bit. Like 400 upkeep next turn, and then both players loaning 2. He needs to
Yep.
somehow close this fast.
Oh, is he locked?
Oh, he
Dude,
is.
there was stuff in the way that was so unfortunate. Just barely finds the pathway through, and now we're locking on to the Vulcan. Down it goes. I'm sure we're gonna get the tower or the melter on the right, but I don't know if we can win the left.
Yeah, I mean, you'll have to go through another Vulcan, some chaff, and a melter. Factory will actually do a decent job, but that Vulcan just keeps shooting at the Mustangs, clearing the path for the melter. It will lock.
Oof. Okay. Almost got the Vulcan, but now he's gonna go down to like basically a giant's worth of health.
Yeah, well, the
One
factory at the
level.
very least did level, but have a look at the money situation here. After picking the spells, you've got 700 for Doxun, 1100 for Laomam.
Oh god. This is going to be a wild round, by the way. We get the Bombard. We got the big EMPs here. Redeploy for Doxun, a War Factory level. I mean, what can we expect here?
I mean, I don't even know. I feel like you probably do need the War Factory level, but at that point, how much money do you have left? He did sell out of the Stormcaller, so retrieved that enhancement module. Nothing to put it on, though, except 100 cost units.
It feels so bad. Oh my god.
He will actually level a Hound with it. Woof.
Woof woof. Okay, levels the War Factory. Surely you like redeploy them together and bubble them, or like I don't know, man. This is such a rough position. Look at the bubbles here from Laomam. He's feeling confident. He's like, I am in a great position. I can just bubble 6 times and win the round.
Yeah, that is looking like a problem. Looks like Doxun will keep the factories on the right side, kind of trying to call a bluff.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, one
Has
bubble.
like the double power of the blue truck, so maybe we'll be able to punch through this time. But that EMP in the storm or the orbital in the middle, those
Dude,
Stangs, I
they're gonna be
think, are going to
slow.
meet a gruesome fate.
I think so too. I mean, I feel like there's almost no way Doxon can win this. Like, okay, cute beacon going to the right, and like the towers aren't level. It's like there's like silver linings, but man, I'm putting big money on on Laomam here.
Well, let's see. Oh, the factory got locked, but
Oh
this time around, it's the
no,
big one.
that's so unfortunate.
Oh no. A big factory will
Yeah.
go down. The right one, the beacon is good. It will approach the tower, but I think we're going to get a very similar situation as last round, where this Melter and the Vulcan all the way on the left might be
Oh,
able
it
to clear
is.
things up.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it didn't win for Doxon last time, but oh, the timing was so bad. I think that's gonna be it. The melter.
Yeah, the Vulcan just torched everything. Oh, it's
It's kind of close.
close. But it is going to be enough for Laomam to close out this series in 2 and go on to face Apuchi in the next best of 3.
Indeed. Congrats to Laomam and Doxon. Unfortunately eliminated here, but a strong debut from him. He put up a good fight against his contenders, and I don't know. Maybe he's just got to go aggro. You know, just saying. These 201 players, they're tricky, man. You gotta go for that aggro like Apuchi.
Yeah, it felt like he was getting some unfortunate rounds there as well. Like, you would think that it would end after that disastrous worm level in the
know.
first game, and now we get like 2 of these melter locks. Just not
It's
his day.
so unfortunate. But I'm sure he'll be back. We'll be looking forward to more Doxon in the future.
Oh, absolutely.